The Kansas City Chiefs have done it again. In a league where the salary cap is both a weapon and a ticking time bomb, they've reached into their most powerful financial lever and pulled it with precision. Patrick Mahomes' contract, the biggest in NFL history, has once again become the franchise's escape hatch. According to multiple reports, Kansas City has restructured Mahomes' deal, slashing his 2026 cap hit from a staggering $78.2 million down to under $35 million. That single move opens up more than $40 million in immediate cap space. It doesn't make them cap compliant yet. They were more than $50 million over the limit, but it transforms what looked like a financial crisis into a manageable puzzle. And the most fascinating part? This was always the plan. Mahomes' original 10-year extension, signed ahead of the 2020 season and running through 2031, was designed with flexibility in mind. On paper, it's a $450 million contract, a number that shattered the league's ceiling at the time and still sits comfortably at number one in total value. That figure dwarfs the deals signed by Josh Allen in Buffalo and Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. But in reality, the Chiefs structured it with rolling bonuses and conversion mechanisms that allow them to shift cap hits forward when necessary. This is not desperation. This is strategy. Before the restructure, only one player in the entire league carried a higher 2026 cap hit than Mahomes, Cleveland's Deshaun Watson at $80.7 million. For Kansas City to operate with a $78 million quarterback charge in a season following a 6-11 campaign would have been organizational malpractice. The Chiefs are not built to rebuild. They are built to reload, and they have to reload now. The 2025 season was a shock to the system. 6 wins, 11 losses. The first time in years that Arrowhead Stadium felt mortal. Injuries ravaged the roster. Toutery none more significant than Mahomes himself, suffering a torn left ACL in December against the Los Angeles Chargers. For the first time in his career, the franchise quarterback looked human. Vulnerable, limited, sidelined. Yet even in injury, Mahomes remains the gravitational center of this franchise. The restructure signals one thing above all else. Kansas City is still all in on contending immediately when he returns. By converting base salary into signing bonus, the Chiefs spread cap hits into future years. It's a maneuver teams use when they believe their championship window is still open. It does create long-term risk. Pushing money into later seasons tightens flexibility down the line. But Kansas City has consistently bet on one constant. As long as Mahomes is under center, the window never truly closes. That belief now faces its biggest test. Mahomes will turn 30 entering the 2026 season. He is reportedly pushing to be ready for Week 1, attacking rehab with the same obsessive intensity that defines his play style. But ACL recoveries are never trivial. Mobility has always been a key component of his game, not necessarily as a scrambler, but as a creator outside structure. The Chiefs are restructuring his contract, not knowing exactly what version of Mahomes they will get in September. That's confidence bordering on faith. Financially, this move gives Kansas City options. They can release right tackle Jawaan Taylor and immediately clear another $20 million in cap space. They can revisit defensive tackle Chris Jones' contract and create additional room. These aren't hypothetical levers, they're practical next steps. 1 or 2 more moves, and the Chiefs are cap compliant with space to maneuver in free agency. That's critical because this roster needs reinforcements. The 2026 NFL Draft gives them the number 9 overall pick, their highest selection since they traded up to draft Mahomes in 2017. It's a reminder of how rare this territory is for Kansas City. For nearly a decade, they've drafted in the 20s and 30s, building from the back of the line. Now they sit inside the top 10, a position typically reserved for rebuilding franchises. But the Chiefs don't view themselves that way. They are restructuring contracts, not liquidating talent. They are preparing to supplement Mahomes, not start over. The number 9 pick becomes an opportunity to inject elite-level youth into a roster that suddenly looked slower and thinner in 2025. And then there's Travis Kelce. The future Hall of Fame tight end has been publicly non-committal about whether he'll return for another season. The Chiefs are reportedly hoping he does. Kelce's presence matters not just statistically but psychologically. He is Mahomes' security blanket, his improvisational partner, the co-architect of countless fourth-quarter comebacks. If Mahomes returns from ACL surgery without Kelce on the field, the offense will look dramatically different. That possibility adds urgency to the cap maneuvers happening now. Free agency, draft strategy, veteran retention, all of it hinges on clarity around Kelce's future. The restructure also sends a message to the locker room. In a year when the team finished 6-11, when doubt crept in nationally, when critics whispered about the end of a dynasty, the front office responded not by retreating, but by doubling down. Mahomes' contract has now been reworked multiple times. The Chiefs redid it ahead of the 2023 season as well. This isn't a one-off adjustment. It's part of an ongoing financial architecture built specifically around maximizing the prime years of an elite quarterback. That architecture reflects a broader NFL truth. Quarterback contracts are no longer static documents. They are living instruments. Teams that draft and develop elite quarterbacks rarely let cap numbers handcuff them. Instead, they convert salary to bonus, spread the hit, and trust that rising league revenues and salary cap growth will cushion the future. Kansas City is betting that the cap will keep climbing. They are betting that Mahomes' performance will justify future cap compression. They are betting that pushing money forward won't become a burden. It's a high-stakes balancing act. If Mahomes returns at full strength, if the Chiefs nail the number 9 pick, if they restructure a couple more deals and smartly navigate free agency, this could look like a masterclass in financial engineering, a temporary stumble followed by a rapid rebound. If injuries linger, if depth issues persist, if cap strain accumulates in later years, this restructure could be viewed as the moment the bill began compounding. But here's what separates Kansas City from most franchises. They have already proven they know how to manage this. Since Mahomes became the starter, the Chiefs have reached multiple Super Bowls, sustained annual contention, and navigated roster turnover without collapsing. They've traded away Tyreek Hill and recalibrated. They've let veterans walk and replaced them with younger, cheaper pieces. The common denominator has always been number 15. And so the logic remains consistent. Protect the window, protect the quarterback, keep the runway clear for one more run, and then another. The restructure doesn't solve everything. They're still not cap compliant. Tough decisions are coming. Veterans may be cut. Contracts will be renegotiated. The roster will look different in 2026. But the panic button has been avoided. Instead of staring at a $78 million cap anchor tied to an injured quarterback, the Chiefs now have breathing room, over $40 million worth, enough to shape the offseason rather than survive it. In many ways, this move encapsulates the modern NFL. Talent acquisition is only half the battle. Financial flexibility is the other half. Kansas City understands that better than most. They've turned Mahomes' massive contract from a potential obstacle into a recurring advantage. Now it comes down to execution. Mahomes must heal. The front office must maneuver. The coaching staff must recalibrate after a losing season. The number 9 pick must hit. And Travis Kelce must decide whether one more year remains in the tank. The 2026 season will not resemble the effortless dominance of earlier Chiefs runs. It will be defined by resilience, by how a franchise responds when mortality finally appears. But one thing is certain: Kansas City is not preparing for decline. They are preparing for another charge. And once again, it starts with reshaping the most powerful contract in football to keep the championship door open just a little bit longer.